Look at Thursday morning, inching ever so closely to the holiday weekend, and we've got a lot to talk about ongoing across the state, from widespread rain that's occurring here in South Central as well as Southeast to breakup conditions. Before we get to what's going on here in South Central, let's give you a quick update on the breakup conditions across the state. We're still dealing with the biggest concerns being the Yukon River. Many of the rivers across the state seeing open to mostly open conditions. Of course, one area of concern continues to be the Yukon River, where we're seeing those waters continuing to steadily rise. Ice jam near Marshall, about 3 miles south of Marshall, is the latest report when it comes to those ice jam concerns. And good news for Russian Mission, as we've seen that water drop roughly 3 feet just within the past 24 to 36 hours. And of course, there's still some area rivers that are still rising. Once again, going to shift our concern to not only the Yukon, but out towards the slope as well, where we're beginning to see those rivers steadily open up as temperatures actually begin to warm into the upper 20s, and we've seen even a few days with those temperatures warming into the 30s. Here in South Central, we are waking up, or this morning I should say, not waking up, we are seeing those widespread rain showers. They built in towards the mid-morning time, or right around 7, 8 a.m. we began to see some of those light rain showers still with us. Now, unlike yesterday, today is going to be very wet across a large portion of South Central, and we're not going to see much in the way of some sunshine. We did see some sunshine yesterday. Today, though, is going to be the day where we're going to be dealing with all of that rain. We've got a series of lows from the Gulf of Alaska out towards the open waters of the Bering, and you can see the main influx of that moisture is right here in South Central, as well as out towards portions of Southeast. This is the areas we're going to be watching for the potential for 1+ inches of rainfall here over the next few days. And even after we're done with the rain today, there's another band of some showers looking to build back into the region as we welcome in our weekend. So there's that activity we're dealing with this morning. This is a current look at that satellite and radar. Heaviest rain continues to remain off the coast over the open waters of the Gulf of Alaska. And as that low continues to inch closer towards South Central, we're going to see some of that heavier rainfall arrive during the afternoon hours. And of course, the closer you live to the coast, per usual, the better your chance of seeing some of that heavier rainfall through the remainder of the day. So far since midnight, Portage has seen nearly 6/10 of an inch of rainfall. Anchorage has seen just under 1/10, while Soldotna, Kenai, as well as Homer is recording right around 1/10 of an inch, and Seward seeing nearly 1/4 of an inch of rain. As far as May as a whole, we have seen over half of our precip accumulation this month come in the form of snowfall, and that was earlier in the month. That is why we're seeing the month so far sitting above average in terms of that precipitation. And it's going to be wet here over the next few days, primarily here in South Central. You can see the rest of the state, not much in the way of rain has occurred. We have seen 1/10 of an inch out towards King Salmon, and rain beginning to build into Southeast. In fact, Southeast is going to be talking about a chilly Memorial Day weekend, with those temperatures falling back into the upper 40s and lower 50s for that afternoon high. And that starts Saturday, and then welcoming in your Sunday and Monday. For today, those temperatures are going to struggle to climb out of the low to mid 50s. If we see some of those areas with an extended break in the rainfall, don't be surprised if we see those afternoon highs manage to climb into the mid 50s. But today is going to be noticeably cooler with that thicker cloud deck, as well as that rain that's going to stick around for a large portion of the day. So putting that in motion, you can see that rain lingering through the rest of your Thursday on into Friday. In fact, as we welcome in our Friday and Saturday, still aiming a lot of that moisture on the coastal regions of South Central and Southeast. We should manage to begin to dry out for inland regions, for Anchorage, the Valley, as well as the Copper River Basin. Faring a lot drier for the weekend. We could see a passing shower or two, but for the most part, if you have any plans heading south out to Lowell Point, if you're heading to Prince William Sound, that's where we're going to see more of that rainfall as we welcome in the weekend. So inland areas, maybe a passing shower or two for your Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but we are expecting to see the cloudy conditions for all. So today is the best active day for seeing that widespread rain. And then as the weekend on into next week becomes more showery in nature and more fixated on the coast of Gulf Coast region as well as Southeast. As far as that 7-day forecast, we're going to struggle to break out of the 50s. We'll get to that in a minute. You can see that forecast precip total for South Central. Just how much rain is going to fall here over the next few days largely depends on where you live. If you live through Prince William Sound, we're talking about 2 to 5 inches of rain. Looks very likely through at least Saturday, early Sunday morning, while Seward out towards Homer could see 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. And then further inland, we're going to see just under about ½ an inch. Kenai could see localized heavier amounts, but the further inland you live and across western Kenai, that's where we're going to certainly see some of the lower amounts when it comes to that rainfall. So temperatures today warming back into the mid-50s. We stay in the mid-50s for the foreseeable future. You can see Memorial Day sitting at 55 degrees. Average high this time of year should be sitting right at 60 degrees, and we have the potential to see those temperatures warming near 60 as we welcome in next week. But for now, I expect to see more of that cloud coverage remain. Now, May looking likely to close with only 3 days that we've managed to warm into the 60s, which is the fewest amount of days we've seen since 2012 when we last saw 3 days during the month of May warming into the 60s. What does June hold? Well, as we welcome in the first week of June, still looking to be a bit on the cooler side in the upper 50s and lower 60s, but trending a bit drier though as we welcome in next week. So if you're a fan of the rain, well, we've got plenty of it today. If not, just wait until the weekend. We will see those cloudy conditions, but that rain does lighten up. One more look outside and you can see just how overcast it is. Good news is green up is well underway. We saw that occur last week, and of course summer is approaching. Hadn't felt like it yet, but I promise you as we welcome in June, we certainly are going to see warmer days. But for now, that rain is falling across South Central and is going to stick around for most of the day. We'll have more coming up at noon as well as in the evening newscast. Have a good Thursday.